Good morning, good morning. I didn't see a time check here this morning. I thought the stream was down maybe. Are we okay? Are we up and running? It's actually a nice day. It's going to be. It's a bit dark down here on the street because of the canyon effect, but it's actually a bright blue sky up there somewhere. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's like the trouble yesterday with the video, whatever. I'll talk about it a bit later maybe. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, we're back down on the first floor, of course. You can see the scaffolding on the hotel. That's going to be there for quite some time, I think. And the poor Italian restaurant at the bottom there, they're underneath all this, and the workers are going to be pulling tile off the building and putting new tiles up, and it's all going to be shrouded. And the Italian restaurant at the bottom there has to keep going the way through all of it. Paper is out. In fact, Ishikawa-san came just a few minutes ago. She's working on the print, the one I did the carving on the other day. Paper is out, and she's up there safely printing already. So I'm not carving this morning. I'll be doing continuing work on the color separations for this print. Poor Kawasaki-san, our carver, is still sitting there in Kobe waiting for these blocks. And today I have got to finally get this done and out. Yesterday it was, what should I do? Video, color seps, video. I did the mental coin toss in video 1. Part of it was the weather. I know. To Tuesday, when the shop was closed 2 days ago, I did that video take for the washi preparation video. I went upstairs. Whatever, it's a bit of a long story. Maybe forget it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Oh yeah, we do. We have a new tapestry. Our landlady dropped by yesterday. Not yesterday, Tuesday afternoon when we were closed. She dropped by and brought a new tapestry. It's can you see it? It's a peacock image. There's a peacock at the far left, and this is the peacock tail. Very nice. All right, so many things to try and explain here. How are we going to do this? Okay, we left off on Monday at the point where I printed some color separation sheets like this, ready to fill in with the different colors. And realized at this point that there was going to be one particular problem, quite a strong problem actually. We talked about Muda Bori. And in fact, it was a coincidence on Tuesday's stream. We had another example of this, Ishikawa-san's blocks. Remember, there was an area that had outlined a mountain. After making the color blocks, we could clear that off the key block. And it turned out that I hadn't moved ahead with very much forethought. And there are areas here on this block where a white line bounds color zones in a number of places. And because that white line doesn't appear on the key block, it's difficult for me to decide where the color zones are going to be matched. And if I had really done this properly, if I had thought it through at the beginning, and if I'd had time, I would have put onto the key block those white lines. They would now appear on this sheet. We could do the color separations, and then when they're ready, I could have come back to the key block and cut those lines off. So this is Muda Bori, waste carving. But as I said, I didn't do it. So we now have color separation sheets here that are missing some vital information. And there's a whole bunch of the colors that need that information. Out of the total blocks we're planning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them need that information about where those white spaces are going to be. So how do we do this? How do we go back? Recarve the whole key block? Or do I go back to the key block, put an insert of wood into it, carve it, and then carve it away again later? That seems crazy. Well, we have a way to do this. I went back to Photoshop, to the original design, and I prepared some of these. The area, the two white lights and the white halo. You're seeing it black here, but these are areas that are going to be white, remember. The areas of the two white circles and the white light. I put those in as though they had going to be on the original key block. And I put on the same thing a few lines from the key block to let me line it up. And here's what's going to happen. Let me take one of these just now. One of the prints we made the other day. And let me take this thing that I just now printed this out this morning over at the 7-Eleven. It's sprayed on with a very light tap so that I can pull it off easily. Now registration, there is no registration marks, but we are going to be able to put it in the right place here because of these little pieces that I left from the original design. We've got a little cherry blossom lying on the floor. Line it up there. We've got his face, looks good. We've got the cat's face, that's a tiny bit off. Let me see if I can get it in place. And we have one of the lines here. So with those 4 places all lining up, we can put it onto here. But now, if I took this and pasted it down for color separations, we'd be able to see the black lines, but we wouldn't be able to see the other lines underneath it. The boy's pants, the shoes, the hair, the other places that need to line up. So what we do is, we get the key block out again. We're going to put some pigment on it. And we're going to print this same thing again. And that will restore it to the original condition. Those black lines will be present just as though they had been left as mudabori on this thing. That's this morning's project, and we'll then move on to doing some of the colors. Now I've got 5 of these to do, so before we start this printing, was there any Mokuhankan painter of note who could paint the line work in one iteration? I'm not quite sure what you mean, I'm sorry. Paint the line work in one iteration. You mean without this mudabori? The mudabori all depends completely on the individual design. Many designs don't have such a thing. I'm sorry, not sure what your question is. So I've got 5 of these to do. We did one of them there, just a minute. We'll go through these 5. So we're going to paste on the 5 sheets. Then when those are ready, we will print the key block onto them. So it's going to be a bit repetitive here, sorry, just a sec. Make a sketch drawing that becomes a model for the ink block without having to edit it later. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a question I can't answer. I don't have any idea. There would have been images that were easy to make, more images that needed more preparation and rechecking and rechecking. I'm sorry, I don't know. I really, of course, have to be super careful with this. If I get this in the wrong place on any one of these, or more than one of them, if I've got this slightly in the wrong place, then that color block will, of course, not match up with the other ones. And we'll be in a real mess. So this actually is a super critical work, about as critical as anything that we ever do. I really, really, really have to make sure these look exactly the same. It's lightly tapped. This is just sitting on there with the easy remove spray hoodie. This is not glued on. It'll just hold it while we print it. It'll all be glued onto the wood soon. Looking good. Sorry for the lack of attention. I've got to get this done really, really, really carefully. If I screw this up, it's a massive problem further down the line. So excuse me just a sec here. Okay, now, so there we have it. We've got the 5 pieces laid on. We now need to print on the missing key block lines, but there's still one more step to go here. I have to be careful. These lines, for example, for his face, the cat's face, this little cherry blossom here, these are not the lines that were carved. These were the lines of the original Photoshop. So now that I've put this down in the correct place, I don't need that face anymore. All I need really is now the areas of light. So I'm going to take off everything except the cone of light. This is no longer needed. I only needed this to get this in the right place. I don't know if this makes any sense to anybody. I'm sorry. Most of you, you're not going to be making prints. None of this is anything specifically meaningful. But I'm sorry, I've got to do this. This is part of our process. So, birthday song. Somebody's birthday today. I didn't see the... I'm sorry not to catch what's going on. It's okay. It's okay. Let me just get the work done here. Oh, it's Tom's birthday? Okay, sorry, I didn't catch this. So. The cutting here now, I'm trying to cut through 2 layers of Gampi, but not through the backing sheet. If I cut through the backing sheet, of course, the whole thing falls apart and we're hosed. I need to cut through the top Gampi, so this can come off. But I also need to cut through the bottom Gampi. You'll see, because that has to get peeled off once we glue this on the wood. This is delicate. Oh, look at that. Beep, 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 beep. Can we restore this? Can we restore this position? No, it's off. I don't know. Do I have an extra? Did I make 6 or did I just make 5? Sometimes I make an extra one. Oh, I do! Dave, you're such a good boy. I don't believe it. I made 6 of them. Nanda. Talk about experience. Talk about experience. I know I didn't do that on purpose. Look at that. It's almost like he's done this before. Stage to stage, it wasn't. I'm not going to make an idiot of myself on stream. Dahanda. I don't stage anything here. It's enough mistakes as it happens. I don't need to stage mistakes. My God. Now be careful. Put this in. Hi. Not that much of an idiot. There's our unneeded pieces. Now step by step by step. Okay, now we have these 5 sheets. Printing. Was that a tour group or something going by? I didn't see what the action there. Now we don't need to print, of course, the whole thing. All we need to print actually is that little area. That little area right there. Look at this, my God. We can do that. Was it school kids? Okay, sorry. Yeah, there's an event going on up at the hall. The building you see in the distance, the red brick building with the lettering going down the side, that's the Asakusa Kokkaido. It's the public hall. City Hall used to be there before the war. It burned down during the war, and then they rebuilt it over more towards Ueno Park. That's now the a public hall, concert hall. And for January, most of it, it's been kabuki, New Year kabuki. Maybe that's still going on. I really don't know. These kids could be going to a kabuki performance. In early January, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, the ones right in the New Year, those are the special, very expensive New Year kabuki shows. But now, towards the end of the month, it may be that they're running it down and now the school kids get to join in. Or that's no connection, it's moved on to something else, local orchestra or something, I don't know. Chinese New Year, I don't know any connection there, I don't know. Just some of those lines. And there we have it now. We've got the key block lines printed back onto the part that had Muraburi. This would also tell me, for screwing up, if some of this stuff was now, if it was, what's the word, fuzzy. If I had got it misaligned, this would show up now. Someone's asking about kabuki. No, I have never seen kabuki live at all. Videos and stuff, yes, but no, never been to kabuki. We had a track record here. I had never been to kabuki, never been to no, never been to sumo. John took care of that. I went to sumo with John last year, or 2 years ago, I forget. I have been to Japanese baseball. One of my customers, collectors of the Poets series, was a Japanese baseball fan. He took me whatever, invited me to some baseball games. This is back early 1990s or so. So Japanese baseball I have a small amount of experience with. Nothing dramatic. Kabuki, no, not yet. It's looking good. It's looking really, really, really good. If we, I don't know if we can show you this, if we pop up just a peek one corner here, for example, we can see the underneath lines and our top lines are perfectly matched. Place on the boy's shoe, for example, here. There's the shoe underneath, shoe on top. We have got it. We have now fixed, quote, fixed our original mistake of leaving off the Mudabori on the key block. And actually, you could make the argument that instead of carving that beam as real Mudabori, doing it this way could also actually save some time. All the carver's time of doing that has now been saved. Whether it's plus or minus, I don't know. John's asking about baseball games. Yeah, we could do that, John, next time you're here. If it's within season, we got to talk early because a lot of the games are sold out. Absolutely. A lot of Japanese baseball games are sold out. Or if you're on a cheap seat, you buy the day, you're so far away you can't really see anything. But yeah, they're a trip. Japanese baseball games are a trip. I haven't seen Rakugo. No, I don't. People have maybe a distorted impression of Dave here. Dave is not some, I mean, I've been here, next year will be 40 years I've been living here, but I'm not some be-all and end-all in knowledge of everything Japanese. My world is extremely narrow in focus. You could argue I know very little about Japan. Yeah, whatever. What I know about Japan is community and neighborhood and actions and activities and dealing with real people for 40 years. But the things you're mentioning, have I been to no theater or kabuki? Well, my easy answer is just the same as most Japanese people. The answer is no. Very, very, very tiny fraction of Japanese people have ever been to kabuki. So in that sense, there's nothing strange or unusual in my position. Okay, let's take one of these now and do the thing with it. The moment we have all been waiting for, the actual work itself. And actually, this is going to involve still more little twists and turns. Because this image, how do we do this? Let's pick one. Just a second. Let's grab my. Let's zoom out a bit here. Let's grab this. I have the original, or the second version. They sent me two versions. The first one, I blew it out. I'm sorry, guys. It wasn't even close. they sent me a second version with different kinds of layering on it. And we're going to work more closely with the second one with a few changes. For example, they have called for quite a lot of white space in this print. They've put white paper on the ground. They've got highlights on the clothing as white paper. They've got the white is the beam of light, the top of the robot, the sheep, and they've put white behind the blossoms here. So they're asking the blossoms to be white, but the white paper to also be there. And that's really not going to be very effective. To make a nice white blossom, you need something behind it to make it stand out. So we're going to work overall with what they've done, but I'm going to change a whole bunch of it. It's okay. This is my job, and that's their job. So, for example, they have used the skin tone on the ground and on the wood. So for them, the background of the wood and the skin and the ground are all the same. Now maybe they've tried to be helpful to me by keeping the number of blocks low, and that's understandable, but there's no way I want all three of those to be the same color. We can easily add more depth to this. So in my version of the color separations here, we have a skin tone is going to fill that white space on the ground. And then the next level up of ground will be a brown tone overlapping with the wall. And then the third tone on the ground will overlap some of the blue tiles up here. So for me, let's pick one of these. If I do, let's start with the base. Let's do the skin tone plus ground base tone. And for that, we are going to need their guidance, because their skin has rim lights. And also, let's see, the ground tone, no, it's okay. It's going to go under everything except the cherry blossoms on the ground. Oh yes, it's also going to have the base tone for the cat fur. Now that also doesn't appear on the key block. So how am I going to get that information? The position of the patches on the cat. Back to the Photoshop file. And we have a printout from the Photoshop file showing the shapes of the cat. At this point, we've got to say, is this the way that ukiyo-e prints were made back in the old days? Going back and forth, Photoshop file tracing, pasting, doing all this. For the most part, no. Because the designers were here. They were part of it. The designers in the old days never created a finished thing like this and sent it to the workshop. Here guys, make this image. That never, and this is capital N-E-V-E-R, we're talking the Edo time. That never happened. The designers gave too many sheets. I got a thick, fat file here now full of all this stuff. I don't have a printout of it. Whatever. The designers gave this. They gave the drawing, pasted on wood and carved. And when the drawing was done, it went to either the designer or somebody who could do the job within the workshop. And they sat down and said, okay, skin tone, all right, I get it. And on this, they would then create the areas that they wanted for the skin tone. You've seen this in a lot of the videos. But now, because they're not here, and I don't have their hand to draw on this thing, they're giving me the information via these Photoshop files. And I now have to sit here and trace this cat hair. Too much talk, not enough action. Let's just get to this. skin tone here. Let's start filling in some areas. That's not the one I need. Are we visible to the camera? The conversation has gone all different ways. Please, please, please go ahead, because this part of the work here. This is what the designer should be doing. The hands you see doing this job now should be the designer. Working with this key block, saying, okay, here's what I want for a color that can be printed as pink. This is how it was done in the old days. The hands you see doing this job would be ideally the designer, or if it was a more simple job and it didn't need specific knowledge or intuition or design work, any of the workers in the workshop could have done this. Okay, give me a pink color on the ground. Okay, boss, I'll do that. And they would have gone and done what Dave is doing here. You didn't have to be a Hochside level genius to do this job. And for almost all of the prints that were published under the name Hokusai in the old days, he would probably not have done this job. A typical everyday book illustration page or something, you didn't need his level of cooperation. Any worker in the workshop could have handled this job. I mean, anybody who knew what he was doing, I mean, you know. Now, we get to a point right here. Look at this. There's an important point to be made here. When I'm finished my work today, we'll be pasting this onto a piece of wood and we will be sending it through to Kawasaki-san, our carver. But I have to make sure she understands what's going on with this light beam. Let's pause the work here to make a super, super important point here. Let's do this. Let's color this in. Now, when she's cutting this block, imagine this is now pasted on the wood and she's cutting it. I have to make sure she understands what's going on. And that I have to tell her that these black lines in this cone and these two black lines, these circles, are going to be white areas of the print. I have to clue her in. This is Mudabori. Because when she's cutting for this pink block, she will cut the block something like this. Her knife, are we zoomed in close enough? Can we see this? Her knife will move inside this black line. She will not cut at the edge of the black line like this. She will cut inside the black line. And the area that will be the ground will thus blend over top of the black line. She will do the same thing right here with this cherry blossom. The inside will be white, but she will cut inside that black area. But for this cone of light, if she carves inside that black line, then it won't work. It won't be white on the print. So she's going to have to carve on the very, very, very edge of the line, not inside it. And if I just did this to her without conversation, she wouldn't have any idea what's going on. I'm going to, of course, show her this, talk to her about what's going on, and very much make sure she's on board with this. And it's really, really, really easy for a carver to screw this up. And I'm not insulting her, because I've been in the same position many, many, many times over the years. La-di-da, 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 la-di-da. Oh, oops, wait, no, that line was Mudabori. She's got to be focused and on this. And if she screws it up, well, if, for example, if she carved inside that line, then we would discover that at time of test printing, and our white line wouldn't be white, it would have crap in it. And we could then try and carefully shave, 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 shave off. So if she cuts too much, it's fixable, but my God, it would be difficult and trouble. So that's what's happening here. You can now see the edge of that paper. Do you see this? This is the double layer area. Look at this. If I lift up a little bit of this without making trouble, look, you can see we've got the part pasted on top. This is gumpy and this is double gumpy. But when we paste it down, this will get glued and this will get glued. And the one that you see in the back will lift off out of the way. You guys have got your own conversations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's okay. Oh, someone's got this. Who's this? Chicken Meister. You got to carve the edge of the line, not the middle. Yes, yes, yes. Somebody's on this. Someone got their first print of the new series, and first print ever for me came today. I want to share you. Thanks. Thank you, sir. Sir, lady. Thank you, person. I'm glad they like it. Someone says, I didn't catch it. The outer edge of the line or the inner edge of the line? Well, it's a question of definition. The place that is black must not get pigment. So if we want to keep, the area you see as a red color here will be carved. It will stay. So that red block must end right at the outside edge of this line. The area you see here as black must not appear on the color block. This print is going to be the April print, the candy store. The February print is being printed at the moment. Kubota-san's doing the first batch. Ishikawa-san will do the next batch. The third print, the March print, Taran-san is wrapping up all the carving himself on that one. Taran-san has gone through this same sort of process that I'm doing with this. Taran-san has looked at their third design. We've been back and forth with them. He called for another block. They drew some more stuff, sent it back. There's been a real back and forth on the third one. The fourth one, I just decided to leave them alone and do it myself. I don't think there's anything they can help me with going back and forth on this. It's all coming along very well, but there really is a lot of back and forth and back and forth. One day, in the land of my dreams, we will have a situation where we've got a modern artist who is here in Japan, who will do the lines for us, who will understand how printed colors work over top of each other, and I will then pass the drawings to them, and they will color what they want, just like the old days. One day in my dreams. It's of course never going to happen, but whatever, can't be helped. Okay, now, as I said, the skin color is going to go on the ground as the base tone. The skin color also has to go on the skin, but we're calling for some rim lights. And there's no way to get that information off this except Dave here. Because it's simple, I can trace this. I can not trace this, I can just draw this close enough. There's the light on his nose. Are we on camera? Yeah. Back of her leg. trying to catch this. First print arrived for me too. Thank Nami-san for me. Whatever. Someone, what's this? Someone says, I took the bait last stream and ordered crane and wave. Was I baiting? Hey, shopping channel, put your order in right now. Sorry if that was the feeling. Excuse me. Sorry if this is a dumb question. Why are you drawing the light lines? Isn't it quite risky and harder to correct if you make a mistake? You mean the thing I just did right now? This line on her leg? And then I'm now going to color this in. I can draw that freehand because it's only on one block. It doesn't affect anything else in the print. If there was another color that had to come to the same place, then I wouldn't be able to draw this. And then I grab the other one, draw it. They wouldn't match up. I did this transfer with these lines because multiple blocks need that line in exactly the same place. If it was just this one block that had light lines on it, I could have sat here and drawn this similar, and it would have been okay. But these are on multiple blocks. That line on the back of her leg will just be on one of the blocks. So we don't need to match with anything else. Is that the question you were asking? I think so. Someone's asking, this is a good question. In the Photoshop version, the ground has areas that are white, but you've colored the entire thing. Am I going to add the white areas later? No. I've pulled executive privilege here. I am changing the color layout. I told you before at the earlier here, maybe you weren't quite here. They've called, I think, for too many white patches. They have white on the ground. They have white, these lights. They have white on the cat. They have white on the sign. They have white in the back of the refrigerator. But most, they have white behind the cherry blossoms. Now this is too much white. So what I've done is I'm going to use my executive privilege and I'm going to kill some of these. We are going to put basic color on the ground with a darker color and then a darker color. So the ground will be 3 tones, light, medium, darker. The inside of the fridge is going to stay white because that's natural. The light beams will stay white and the little robot will stay white. The white behind the sign will stay white. I'm going to kill the white behind the cherry blossoms also to make the cherry blossoms stand out more. So I've adapted their color separation. So what you see here is not what you're going to see when your print arrives in April. It's okay, if she was here, I would just pass this to her and ask her to do this. She's not, so we don't have any choice. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I keep the white on the cat. As far as I know, yes, I think the cat will be a 3-tone. It'll be white paper with 2 tones. Then we've got, don't interrupt me. I really got to get, somebody's mentioning the white on the boy's hand. We got the neck. There's one on the hand also, thank you. And down on his feet, that's going to be pink, that's going to be pink. It's so easy to screw this up. There's another interesting thing that comes here too. Look at her face. Her face is pink, but her hair, of course, is black. But now when we print these, this is a fairly small print. Some of the old Edo era prints, the key block was printed in gray, and then the big black hair of the woman was printed on a separate block in black. Now these are too small. There's no way we can print a gray key block and have black hair. So what we're going to do is this key block will be printed in a medium sort of, you can see it here like this. It won't be printed this lightly because this would be too light for her hair. So our key blocks will be printed a little bit more black than this, but it won't be jet black. So underneath the hair is a problem. We will have an area where the pink of her face is visible at the edge of her hair. So we're going to run the pink under the hair blocks, except in the place where it shows white. Kawasaki-san, well again, she'll know what to do because we do this all the time. The girl's pink skin tone will go under the hair. The hair won't look pink, but it will give it more body. There are so many little dips and twists in these things. So many. They just send us these Photoshop files and ha 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 ha. Now the pink is also used in various little bits and pieces inside the shop here. The shop is it's a melange of different colors and tones, and it sort of really doesn't matter what they are as long as it looks like an interesting variety of stuff. A little bit randomish here. Now it's going to be hard to ask you guys for the verification check on this. Because if I just show you this and say, have I caught everything that's on here, it won't make any sense. Because the wood, for example, which they had on the same block, is going to a different block. These patterns on the ground, they're going to a different block. So there's nothing I can ask you to check with. Just I think I'm okay. The key ones, here, I can check with my... We can check with my plan here. We've got the ground, we've got the boys. Oh, we've missed one of his hands. There's a second hand. Let's catch that. Yes, we've got that. Good, 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 good. Good catch, somebody. Me. There's his second hand. The flagpole, I don't believe, is going to be on this block. The flagpole is on one of the light brown blocks. So part of it's on the second brown block and part of the flagpole is on the blue block. The flagpole is, I believe, taken care of. It's on 1, 2, 3, perhaps 4 other blocks. You don't need it on this one. Yeah, good idea, but no. Are there gradations? I don't believe we have any gradations planned for this one at all. It's possible that maybe at the end of it, we might think to put a gradation on the background block, the one that's going behind the one that goes behind the flowers. It's imaginary here. There will be a block behind the flowers, perhaps a gradation there to darken the tone at the top, make the flowers pop. Maybe one of the gradations at the bottom. I don't know. I don't think so. At the moment, I don't see any call for gradations here at all. Yeah, now the other thing, don't worry. The cat, we now have to get the pink on the cat. And as I said, we have the information here. I got 2 choices here. I can draw this freehand, ha 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 ha, or we can try this. This. Someone says you might consider a gradation on the beam. You mean under the roof tiles. It's pretty small. Remember, the print's not going to be that big. The print is going to be, well, there's the print. A gradation on that beam under those tiles, if that's what you mean, I don't think so. Possible other gradation could be on the ground bass tone behind the characters. But I think this thing's busy enough. Well, gradation on the beam from the spaceship. Interesting. Yeah. You mean the blue. You mean the blue that's shining down. That's thinkable. Yeah, that would be doable. Because the blue there is only going to be one block. It's not going to be anything else. Okay, if I remember, then when we're doing test critique, maybe we'll try that. It's possible. Which way? Darker blue going up lighter or darker blue going down lighter? The beam bokashi. Dark going lighter up or dark going lighter down? It would be dark at the bottom. It would be light, bright where it comes out of the spaceship, and it would gradually deepen and darken as it hit the ground, right? Darker at the bottom. So. Brighter at the top where the light is shining. All right, put it in the put it in the database. Where did I see this? Where did I see this? Somebody. Oh, I remember now. It's related to the whatever. I saw a quiz. Somebody had prepared a quiz about this channel. I guess it's not public. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. I heard that there was a quiz, and one of the questions on the quiz was the password to the iPad. And I remembered it. So here's my chance. We can trace the cat fur. But, not with all these lights on, we can't. Yeah, there was a quiz about, I'm not sure what it was about. It was a quiz about this channel, or it was a quiz about me, or a quiz about our YouTube. I don't remember. I didn't actually, I wasn't involved with it. So, but there is such a thing out there somewhere. Maybe the people on the Discord have been talking about this. Okay, I need some tape. I don't have tape. And also, I've got to kill some of the lights. Okay, we're going to play around here for a minute. Let me get some tape. One second. Oh, I just knocked something off the desk. What was it? Water bottle. Okay. Now this is not, it's critical, but it's not super critical, because as we mentioned with some of that tracing a few minutes ago, these lines of cat hair are only on one block. So whatever we draw here becomes reality, but we don't have to worry about drawing it twice and matching up for different blocks. If I turn all the lights out, I can see. Here's my glasses. I got the wrong glasses. Those are my reading glasses, and these are my look down close-up glasses. Yes! Can you guys see? I don't know. I think you can see. All right, fair enough. Hey. How are we doing for time? 9:03. Okay, looks okay. I might just be finished this. We have a show and tell today. We have a show and tell similar to the one we did the other day. A package has arrived of prints, a print set, and we're going to open it up and have a look at it. The same kind of stuff that we saw the other day. It's prints that will be going into the flea market. Well, whatever. We'll talk about it when we get there. Okay, I think that's that. Is it clear what I just did? I'm not quite sure, or do I need to explain any more? We're using an iPad as a light table. It's no big deal. Just show a blank white screen and trace on the screen. I didn't use Photoshop data. I could have actually, when you think about it, I could have done that. But getting it scaled just exactly right would have been difficult. I could have put this image into the iPad software, Photoshop or whatever, tried to scale it to the exact size, which is difficult when you keep touching the screen and stuff. So I'm just using it at the moment. I printed out at the size, which I know is exactly the right size, and just traced it. And again, I can do this freehand because these lines are only going to be on one block. If it's a line that's going to be on more than one color, we can't allow ourselves the freedom of doing it this way. Oops, that's a mistake. That should have been here. Kawasaki-san, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it's not that ear. Give her an X. Take it out. I had the wrong glasses on now. I have no idea, really, the people watching this, is this whole thing really, does it seem kind of chaotic? I'm sorry if it gives that impression, because actually it isn't. It's a really carefully controlled process, step by step, trying to get data onto pieces of wood so that we can then print them. The real confusion comes here because of the separation. The designers are not here to do these things. It's really not chaotic at all. It's carefully controlled. It goes smoothly. And of course, someone who's doing this by themselves, Karen on this stream here, she makes her own prints. So Karen will be doing similar things like this in her own printmaking, but because she's the one creating the designs, she just makes it up as she goes along. I think I need this, I think I need this, let's do this. So Karen will be using some of these same techniques, but without the requirement for exact transfer, because she's creating it all as she does it. Okay, now, have I got everything I need on this block? This is the one that perhaps nobody can really help with. Should I be using the skin tone block as an undertone somewhere else. There's going to be 2 blocks for the wood. There will be a lighter wood panel on the building. There will be a darker over panel on the wood. Because skin tone is related to those, I could put the skin tone underneath the wooden panels. I'm not going to do that because I'm just going to, it's just too much is too much. It gives me less flexibility then. If we want to deepen the skin, maybe some of those wood panels become too dark. But it could be, for example, up here at the top under these eaves. We want that deep and dark. Should I put the skin tone up here? I've sat here, you've seen me. We talked about this on Monday where I said I can't do this on stream. Sit here and stare at this thing. Do I need this here? Do I need that there? Do I need this here? That eave area has blue-gray. It has the basic wood tone and it has the darker wood tone. So I think it's okay. Adding the skin tone under those eaves, I don't think brings me any value. Are there places where I can use this block? Okay, here's one that I might have missed. When I was planning this, I thought I'd put the skin tone as an undertone on his sandal straps. Let's see if that makes any sense. His sandal, the sandal toe and the sandal straps are going to, at the moment, they're planned to be on the red/pink block. So his sandal straps are, I'll just say the word red. Red, as is part of the robot, as is her shirt, as is his collar, his controller, the red lettering on the flag. Kori, it's the symbol for ice, and up on the cherry blossoms. So it's red/pink. Do we take the trouble to put the skin tone underneath this one on his sandals? Would it make a difference? I'm thinking no big deal. It doesn't matter. And these also have rim lights, so I'd have to worry about getting those lines in the right place. But I was thinking about it when I was preparing the key block, when I was preparing the color block for the hada. I was planning on putting it on his sandals. Okay, it's 9:11. Okay, actually we're okay on this because I think I'm ready to go. If I did have the wood stacked up here ready, I would now paste this on the wood, do the peel, and it goes to the carver. But at the moment, one, I don't have wood here, it's all upstairs. And two, I really would like, with no interruptions, to sit here. Once these are all ready, boom, 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 I want to sit and stare at them and go back and forth and look for mistakes. So there's going to be no pasting down here right now. But I think this one is ready to go. I think we've done a good job here of explaining how this process actually is going to work. We got in a little bit of a jam because I forgot to do the mudabori, and we got out of it using plan B. Let's call it there and let's move over to show and tell. Good content, I think. Yoisho! Get your counting game on. Ooh, there's an envelope. There's an envelope. And it's a print. The staff already opened it. They confirmed for me. There is a print inside. And it's from, I don't know if she's on the chat. Today, we have a chat member, Mibi Cheap, who used to be here all the time. Oh, she's here. You're here. Is it okay? It's okay to open this, right? It's a print. I'm sure it's okay, right? Tell me yes. It's okay. It's okay. I'll hide your address. Dave Bullen, staff at Mokuhankan. Spelled correctly. She says, yes. Wishing you a productive New Year's. It's from, okay, well, so I still don't know if you're going to be doxxed. I'll hide your name here. It's okay. Dave Bull and all the staff at Mokuhankan, wishing you a productive New Year. Thank you for all your efforts with the Twitch stream and YouTube videos from BPT. And we have a print. It's interesting. It's a print. She's made actually a useful thing of this. It's a calendar. So she didn't print the calendar. Obviously, this is a printout from something or other. And it's interesting. It's a bilingual calendar. It doesn't have holidays, so it works in Japan, same as Canada. And there's a woodblock print. Look at this. Okay, ma'am, you're here. You can tell us what's going on. Did you draw this, sketch it, copy it? What did you do? Oh, it doesn't come off. I can't look at the back. Oh, I want to look at the back. It's glued on. You don't glue. How many blocks? We have a key. Look at this. Gradations, 2 duotones. Look at this. We have a key block, black. There's a shadow block, which also I think comes on top of the frog. We have a base tone for the frog and then some kind of yellow. And I'm not sure if that's a separate tone block. Also, that tone, is that done on the same? I don't know how many blocks we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 blocks, kind of. She says 4. Wait a minute. We've got the black, the base tone for the frog, the yellowy thing, and then the shadow. Okay, so the shadow on top of the frog here has come from the base tone frog block. You put an extra gradation on it. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Very nice. Tell us more. Is it carved on plywood? Is it cherry? What have you done? And is it your design? Is it your design or is it copied from somewhere? She says, yes. I don't know what that means. So, Sheena and my design. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. There's also, I had never heard this before, but there's a meaning to the frog here. The reason she has put the frog here, it turns out, well, instead of, well, here, maybe should I read it? There's a quote here, and it says it's a quote from Mark Twain. True or not, I have no idea. It says, if it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. It says Mark Twain. I don't know. But yeah, I get it. If you've got something you don't want to do, get it over with, of course. And if there's a couple of them you don't want to do, get the biggest, hardest one over. Do any of us really do this? I don't know. Hey, thank you very much. Very nicely done. Very, very, very nicely done. Here's the quote, if you need to get it into the stream here. Click, you've got your quote. Thank you very much, Matt. Very nicely appreciated. A quote for all the procrastinators, she says. She's done it. Very nice. This might have been sitting here for a while. I'm really sorry if we didn't get to it. I know Nami-san showed it to me yesterday, and it might have been here for a while. No, mailed on the 16th of January. It's okay. So I guess you're back in America, are you? Let me make sure I get who's who here. This is Hank's mother, right? I'm not really sure if I'm matching up the right person here. Am I correct in this? You're Hank's mother? Or am I mixing you up with somebody else? That's Andy, okay. All right, I'm sorry. Yeah. Is it okay if we send you our homemade prints? I'm fine with that. Of course I'd like to read. I like to look at prints. Of course. My apologies. Okay, I'm mixing with somebody else. Yeah, you're from Metafilter time then. Yeah. We go way, way back. Okay. I'm getting it correct now. All right, this could take a while. You know how this goes. One. It's Christmas! What's the way you're supposed to do when you're a kid? Tear off all the wrapping paper. There's no way this is recyclable. It looks like we are down it. We're going to cut it at 2. What a disappointment. Only 2 layers. So, Utamaro Meisakushu. Utamaro, the designer's name. Famous Works Collection. We've had this before. Now, I've got to be a bit careful here. The other day when we opened an old print set, it was clear from the very beginning that the set was not a viable set. The covers were torn, there was bits missing, there were prints missing from the set. So I looked at that and I realized our only job with those prints the other day was to rescue them, get the prints out of the set into the shop one by one by one by one by one. Now this one, I don't know this. This is a set that our Watanabe-san has purchased, and she may want this set to be carefully preserved and kept as a set for our flea market. So I'm not free to break this all up. All I'm free to do is, let's have a peek. Delivery. Ah, おはようございます。着ぐらいですか？あ、違います。はい、ありがとうございます。久保田さんから？いや、山根アートプラン。あ、はい、ありがとうございます。はい、thank you。ということで。一杯ありがとうございます。どうも。お願いします。What's in there? I don't know. Something. It's not. If it was Kubota, we would have cut and run. We would have just dumped this whole thing. Kubota's that sort. Okay, this is a print set. This is really kind of interesting. I can nibble at the story, but I can't show and tell you the whole story. It would take hours. Yuyudo is the company. And back in the, I'm not sure the exact date when they would have first done this. In the 1960s, I guess it would be. Don't quote me on that because I know. Look, it is. This is 1965, but I don't know when they first did this. They did a lot of ukiyo reproductions. They did a bunch of reproductions in the old days, Utamaro prints at beautiful full size. Then somewhere along the post-war line, it might have been in the late 50s, it might have been in the 1960s, it might have been, maybe this is the very first one, 1965, they produced this set of Utamaro beauties in slightly smaller scale. And they rang the bell with consumers here in Japan at that time. This set of 30 prints, my God, for our own flea market, we have bought this same set, and I'm going to say 50 times, and that's not Yorkshire exaggeration. That's easily true. I'm exaggerating low. This set, there are thousands of copies of this set out in the market in Japan. And the really, really, really interesting thing is that sometimes we get them, they're in beautiful condition, and this looks like one such time. Sometimes we get them and they're broken up and scattered. They're in good condition, bad condition. But what Yuyudo had done, Saiki-san, who runs Yuyudo, what he had done, which I myself had never, ever, ever, ever thought about or known about, is because the set was so popular, I said thousands of copies, but they just blew them up, rub, print, rub, print, rub, print. They recarved the blocks. And we have, in my collection upstairs, from this first print in this set, I have in my own collection, and I've stolen from these flea market prints that come into our shop here, at least 5 different block sets were used. And every time we get this set, we look at this first print, and I go to my collection, I pull out the folder, and I see if this carving matches the ones I have upstairs. And if it matches, that's okay. This can go through to the flea market for sale. If this doesn't match, this goes into my collection upstairs, and the number ratchets up 6 blocks. The point being, the box is covering the mic. Hi. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? The point being, the print set was so popular that when the blocks started to wear out, the publisher sat there thinking, well, that's it. The blocks are worn out. That was a good project. Let's think of something else. No, he said, We're still selling. Carvers, get busy, carve it. So his carving team, and it wouldn't be, he has no in-house carving team. The carvers he hired for this, the printers he hired for this. Away we go. Okay, boss, let's make another one. Let's make another set. So this set of 30 Utamaro prints exists in at least, and I have documented evidence of this, it exists in at least 5 completely different versions. Same images, same prints, same story, same pamphlets, same packaging, same everything, but different blocks because they wore out. When you got a bestseller going, you got a bestseller. And here at Mokuhankan now, we have done this twice in our career here. One of the very first prints we published, the crane at sunrise. There was a rising sun with a crane in front of it. I first used it as a New Year card, made 200-300 copies of it. It then went into a set of prints. I made the small print collection, a couple of 100 copies more. It came to Mokuhankan, went on the wall. I don't know, I could look it up, 1,500 copies. The sun block wore out and it wouldn't print cleanly anymore. So what do? Take it out of production? Nope. Carve a new block. Good morning, Guragawa-san. Hello, hello, hello. There are shop sales during the night. I didn't do anything, but there's probably at least 3 of them in the computer there to pull up. Thank you. I left it for you. I know you have so much fun doing this. Anyway, whatever. That's all talk. We're supposed to be looking at prints. I'm sorry. These are the early ones. When they first published this, they are so nicely done. It'll have to be a separate video one day, and I might have to wait till Saeki-san's gone because I don't want to insult him. I said I've got 5 sets, and they go down, 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 down. You could draw the line from beautiful carving down to who cares. This is very nice. And the date is early, 1965. So this could be the first one.
Yeah, here right we have 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. I'll get to it.
They published it as a subscription set. There's 30 prints, and they came 2 in each package. And they opened the series with these 2 dynamite prints, carved carefully, printed carefully. Look at the extra printing care. Gradation around, negative gradation, excuse me, around the kimono. This is difficult, difficult, difficult to do. Negative gradation around the fan. Also, well, that's not so bad. You put some extra pigment in the middle and it gradually spreads out. But this one is tough. 2 prints in each package for 15 times. And now and then we find these and there's a price tag inside and we can see what the price is. And that, of course, as the quality went down during those years, the price went up. And this must be one of the very earliest. Look at the number here. You're going to cry. It says, I'm upside down, it says, Nimai Ichikumi 1000 yen. 2 prints for 1 group, 1,000 yen. This is Umozuri Chuban. 1,000 yen. 1,000 yen.
For 2?
For the 2 prints, 1,000 yen. I think they said every 2 weeks you got a new package for the subscription. It's 15 sets, 15 packages. And there's the price label. This is, what's the date? This is, it's Showa 40, 1965. I was 14 years old. You didn't exist. Your mother was still...
Yes, I was. I was born... No.
No!
Okay.
You're not...
I was born in 42. No.
You're not that old. You're getting confused. You're not born in... I was born in 1951.
42 年.
Okay, we're talking Showa. This is Showa 40.
But I was born in Showa 42.
Okay, well, this is before you were born.
Yeah,
Okay. I was 14.
You were 14?
I was 14. I was born in Showa 26.
You were 20, okay.
This is a nice set. Watanabe-san has found a beauty. Sometimes they're such a mess. This one is so nicely carved. Look at this. Look at this. They've done the 2 layers of hair. This is actually sort of a little bit bad news for us. We can't break up this set. It's too nicely made, too beautifully done, in too good condition. But the numbers of people who would want to be buying this are very, very few and far between. And we said 1,000 yen. That's not what I paid for it. If we'd been around here in 1965, that's fine. We paid 5 figures for this, and the first one was not 1, and the first figure was not 2. It's a nice set. So often we get these when they're degraded. And look at this. I'm having to break this backwards. This has never been opened. This now, the photo, I'm just going, oop. It's never freaking been opened in all the years this has been there. They've really, really been careful about this. This is the key place to look. Look at that. 2 blocks. The eyes are not smucked. The lipstick fits in. The yellow is perfectly registered around the face. Smooth, deep background yellow. Poisonous. Very, very nice set. Whoever got this barely even looked at them. Our problem now, of course, like I said, we can't break this up. This has to stay as a set. There aren't too many people who want it. Look at the glitter, these guys. Look at this. It won't open. It hasn't been opened. I'm having to open this. Now, this is over the top. I think this is... They put mica on the background here, and they've done it with the easy, cheap way. Normally, when they did a mica background in the Utamaro prints, the mica, actually in the earliest prints, was mixed with paste. You print the gray background, and then you mask out the body, and you brush on the mica paste mix. In the old prints, you can see the brushstroke lines. What they've done here is the quick, cheap, easy way. They've got powdered mica that's waiting on the side. They print the background color and they dump the mica over the whole thing, brush it off. And it sort of brushes off the places where there's no paste and it sticks on the background. There's 2 mistakes here. One is they just dumped it on and there is mica everywhere. Look at this. This is no fun at all. Because the paper was moist, the mica powder stuck into the paper. If this was my print at home now, I would try and get a brush. You could maybe get most of it off, but they didn't bother. The other thing is, yeah, look, it does come off. The other thing is they've used a coarse mica. This is way too coarse for what a print like this should have. Wow. They've come all this way to make beautiful prints. Do it properly. Okay, we don't have time to sit here and go through all 30. I think that's enough. It gives you an idea of what we've got. A full, beautiful set of prints from Yu Udo. I'm hoping it could be that as we get down through the pack here, perhaps some of them have foxing or mold. The case itself is showing a little bit of trouble here. The case is a little bit stained. So I don't know. It's going to go upstairs to the ladies upstairs, but they are very happy to see a nice high quality one. And I'm going to take that first print upstairs myself and compare it with the ones in my collection. And if it's different, then I have to buy this. I have to buy this from Mokuhankan and put it in my collection. Another piece of junk. Okay, there we are. That's enough. Thursday. What's the next job coming up? We have 1 week of streams left before I fly to Canada. This is Thursday. There'll be a stream Saturday and Monday and Thursday, and then I am out of here for a couple of weeks. Good morning, Meta-san. Hi, thank you. I need your help. I've got a letter from a Dutch customer who is asking some stuff in Dutch. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'll explain later. Whatever. It's a post office problem. So.
I see.
There we are. Let's get out of here. Let's put the outside up. Oh, there we are. Look at this. It looked so gray and gloomy, and now look at this. We have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sunny day. Look at that. So nice. Okay, gang. Thanks very much. I'll see you in a couple of days on Saturday. Like I said, we have 3 more streams left. Saturday, Monday, and Thursday before we close down for my holiday. Okay. See you later. Bye for now. 3, 2, 1. Down we go.